What? I understand I got a lot on my mind, a lot on my chest. What's going on, everybody? I'm Lloyd with Midnight Comics, and welcome to another episode of Indie Versus. This is a character breakdown. We're going to be talking about Black Bow here with Jamal Dabney himself, and we're going to give a moment for him to talk. But again, Indie Versus is basically death battle, except for indie characters. We take your favorite indie comic book characters and pit them against each other, essentially, to find out who will win an Indie Versus. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and give it over to Jamal Dab over here. Tell him about yourself. What all you got going on, sir?
Well, yeah, as you know, right now we're actually in pre-production phase for our next Kickstarter coming out in like 2 months. Doing a little bit of going back to the drawing board with the whole brand and the issues and the comics and everything like that. Yeah, we're just like really in the building phase still right now at this point. And yeah, man, we just can't wait to really bring the next level of Black Bow, because now, like, the first issue could have been a standalone. Like I wrote it, I made it so it could just, like, if that was it, like that was going to be it. Like it kind of reads like it could be a one shot, but it also could be a cliffhanger too. And so, like, that's kind of like what I meant to do. So after some deliberation, I was like, okay, yeah, we're gonna finish this out. Like, there's like, I feel like there's almost like 10 arcs, and sometimes in my head I come like up with more. So like we're talking about something that's like 20 issues in, so 20 issues. So it's like, and then I got spin-offs. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on in this head. It's, there's certain characters, but I definitely want you guys to get more cemented in the world, so the fans and people that have read it and people that see me on IG or Facebook, what have you, can start to get a grasp, like, of the series of the franchise as a whole. So that's what I want to do, and hopefully they'll be able to, like, know these characters and, like, know, oh shit, man, one of the villains is about to have her own spinoff, or one of the antagonists is about to have their own spinoff, and vice versa. So
he's dropping hints, y'all. He's dropping them nuggets. So, quick question now. So, of course, diving in, we know we have Black Bow. Guys, please. 3, 2, 1. Of course, okay. So, taking a look at of course, we have Indie Versus. We were sitting here. We got Black Bow versus Delta Dogs, right? So we're going to start power scaling and talk about what exactly Black Bow has going for him. Okay, so I know, seeing the book, and I think we talked about this briefly, we saw Black Bow fighting basically a SWAT team, right, with ease. Mm-hmm. So I want to talk more about his kind of physical feats, right? Because another thing that I do remember was cars explode, a huge explosion, cars flying all over the place, and he's unmoved. So I want to talk more about why he's so tough, where that comes from, and how strong is he in comparison to the normal person, having seen these things.
Okay, yeah. So you can compare, like, his training to, like, okay, so when I made Black Bow, like I said, I'm a big anime fan, and so I take hints not only from DC but little cues from anime as well. So when I was, I wanted to make a realistic like an anime type of power system, but like if a real person was going through it, like, realistically. And so you could, like, compare his training to, like, kind of what Bruce Wayne went through, right?
Okay.
But, like, rigorous, like, with, like, Yu Yu Hakusho elements, like, being trained by, like, some harsh slave driver like Genkai, whip, do, like, so it's like his body is, like, I would say, the peak of, like, human physicality. So say, like, I want to say, so the physicality of, like, Batman, but at times, depending on what core of Anu he might be
I just realized I was pronouncing it wrong the whole time. I apologize.
Right. So depending on what core of Anu he uses, will determine what he's super human in at the moment, I might say.
Okay. So it's like
So
levels to it then. So it's like if he
right,
needs to be on the offensive, his
right.
strikes are stronger versus if he needs to block something. Okay. Or he needs to be faster or something like that.
Right. So say like Bruce Wayne being able to he's already a strong human. Like they said, Batman can lift like 1,000 pounds or some crazy stuff like that.
Agreed,
So it's
bro.
like the max of human capability, and then being able to go like
And
because
stack it.
like so when people say like superhuman, I want to say like like Captain America technically is a superman.
Yeah.
Technically. He's a
Yes.
superhuman man. Like he's a man and he's
Mm-hmm.
super. So technically, I've always wondered why he's not really called Superman, because he is a man that's super, but
An
whatever.
actual human, right?
An actual human that has, his ability just go slightly beyond the normal human, super strength, enhanced strength. So Black Bolt, like say he taps into his physical core, he'll be able to do like superhuman things like Captain America, but he has already top tier physical strength.
Okay.
So if
So
he
I,
needs to,
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was going to say. So I'm gathering here almost like a Kaioken, like a less strenuous Kaioken.
right? Okay,
Okay.
that's a good analogy right there. You're exactly.
Okay.
That's a great example. It's like Kaioken, less strenuous Kaioken, right? So you're already running at the top tier speed that human capability is able to take you. Then depending on the situation, you tap into Anu and you got that like Captain America now level of speed at his fastest it can be. You know what I mean? So now already being that strength, he could tap into superhuman abilities in a specific area that he might need it in. So
question then, and again, I apologize if I'm interrupting you there,
no, you're
but
good.
what are the different cores then, specifically with that Black Bolt can tap into then?
Okay, so yeah, without giving too much away.
Fair enough.
That's fine. That's fine. Like, because I think I wrote that so that everybody knows that like the seven there are different cores, strength, agility, energy manipulation.
Is that what we're seeing when he's utilizing the bow? So I'll let you finish, then I'll
right.
ask that question in a second.
Okay, cool. Yeah, energy manipulation, self-healing, mental and cerebral abilities, and then yeah. So I mean, that's the range of Anu. That's like that ranges from that, and certain cores can take characteristics of other ones. Like the latter part of a core could sometimes coincide with another one, right? So like the energy manipulation part is like the solar core, and that's like it's a golden aura. But if he activates his third eye core, then he can also do some forms of it, a lot of forms of energy manipulation, multiple forms actually. But the solar might be particularly something dealing with more heat, like what I mean. That might be more cosmic. So yeah, and traditionally a person might spend their whole life just mastering one core. It's very rare that a human being can master all seven.
All of them.
Yeah. So like, you're very rare, but there are beings that can do it though.
Okay. So question. So the energy manipulation, I guess that's what we're seeing when he's pulling the arrows up. So those are regular arrows, but then he taps into that core and uses energy manipulation to add energy to the arrows that he already has.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So they're not like just materializing out of thin air. They're it's already an arrow there.
Okay.
And depending on the speed, the distance, or the damage that he wants to inflict, then he can encase it with Anu, that arrow itself.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Now, yeah, that was a question that I had initially, but I went back and looked at it, and I'm like, okay, there's arrows in the quiver. So I was wondering at first, I was like, is he just can't? Well, that is a question still, though. is there a point where he'll be able to, let's say he runs out of arrows, just
man.
make some arrows, or is that diving too much into spoiler territory?
Yo, come on, man.
I'm sorry.
Nah, that's cool. Yo, I mean, yeah, technically right now, yes, there will be a time when he'll be able to like it'll be like something equivalent to like the spirit gun, right?
Okay.
And arrows will be manifested. Like that's a part of Anu too. There'll be a point where he can, boom, he's harnessing energy, stuff's coming up, like charging up and stuff like that. Massive arrow come out of nowhere. Like, yeah, so I got some stuff like it's gonna be some crazy stuff. Yeah, that's coming, bro.
Now, if anything gets too close to super spoilery territory, let me know. I'll cut that out.
Yeah.
But okay. So we have the different cores, right? All right. So I'm assuming he tapped into that like agility core when he got in the way of the bullets and deflected it. And I was wondering if that was just a reactionary feat, or if he actually was fast enough to run over there. Like, to reword it, they already fired and he got over there in time. It wasn't, hey, the rest of these bullets just so happened to miss this kid, and I blocked the few that was heading towards it. He actually ran fast enough after bullets were shot, got in front of the kid, and deflected it. Do I have that right?
So you're talking about the first issue, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you really asked that question. It's like, yeah, that's a good question. Was he there and then they started firing? Are you asking me? Like he was already in front of the kid.
Like we already saw he was like, this is bad. And then you see them shooting, and then he's running towards the action and he deflects those bullets. I'm like, were they all, the bullets are already en route to people, and he manages to make it over there before the bullets hit their target, then swipes them away. Like that. That's a massive speed feat. Okay.
Yeah, so that's a feat. Like, so yeah, that we're talking like some anime stuff right there. Like almost like in that sense, like I said, he's nowhere near like if I could compare him to because he's gonna like I want to do stuff like, okay, DC or Marvel, like characters have certain abilities and they're already nerfing certain characters that they're just what they are. Like, so like in DC or Marvel, correct me if I'm wrong, and like it's funny, like I'm in comics and I like to make comics and I watch a lot of the animated series. I would consider myself, just being honest, like I don't know everything. I would I'm a lot more in tuned than a casual. Yeah. But I'm not in no way or form am I an expert on comics. I just love them, like to make them, and I read indie comics and stuff like that. Once I found out that this space existed. You see what I mean? Right. So it's like, yeah, that's where I am. So it's like, from what I've seen, I don't recall like the Western, like, DC Marvel having like arcs where Superman goes into or Captain America goes into a hyperbolic time chamber, trains for 4 years, then comes back and has like some new ability, like 7-point shield throw, like some crazy, like like I don't think that they do that. Like it's just their abilities. This is what they are. Like you never see them, go train for 5 months and then come out of nowhere with a new form. Right. Black Panther's not going to have a new Black Panther level that he just achieved. So that's what I wanted.
Super Panther 5.
Right. Like he's just now he was black before, now he's extra black. Like, okay, so it's like I wanted to incorporate that in my hero because I want to incorporate the realism like the DC and the Marvel if superheroes existed. But and I wanted to incorporate that anime side where people are scaling. So in the arcs, Black Bow's gonna get stronger stuff every time. So and new abilities are gonna be unlocked. So that's what I wanted to add into my, like, if I wanted to categorize Black Bow, like I like the Invincible series, man. Like that, I love that. And so like it's gonna get like that, like battles where you're talking about that. That's what I will put out there. Like you talk about some destruction as time, you're gonna like citywide pandemic level threat, wipe out like post-apocalyptic.
My
Like,
man said we about to have the Viltrumite War going in Black
yo,
Bolt.
man,
On,
yeah, it's gonna be some crazy stuff when you find out. Like, oh man, like I love talking about this stuff, but yeah, it's gonna get crazy. That's all. It's gonna get crazy. I mean, like, I wanted to do something because I love like Green Arrow and art, even DC, like, Arsenal, Speedy, old Green Arrow, all of that. So I wanted to add that element in with, like I said, the anime stuff, and then put a seemingly archer up against crazy, catastrophic, cosmic level threat type stuff, and then I think that's going to make the story even more crazy because I wanted to, like, I didn't make him. I could have made him like, I could have called him Black Star and he can fly, he can shoot beams. Then like these type of threats he's gonna face. But let me see what would happen if I would make a seemingly normal person that would maybe like went through like an Oliver Queen situation or a Batman situation, and then introduce him with maybe a gift or an ability that can let him maybe not overcome these enemies, but be on the same playing field to survive. Okay. So yeah.
Bro, okay. So that, that already, so that put you ahead of quite a few Archer characters. There's not too many in the indie game that I'm familiar with. There's like, Vince White did an indie deck thing a while back, and there was, I don't remember his name, not Black Arrow. Whatever his name was, he is just like he was like an Olympic archer or something like that. Like that was it. I was like, yeah, you're not gonna make it. And then I think Godhood has Sharpshooter, and I'm like, yeah, if these two end up in a versus match, even if it's a triple threat match, sorry, Black Bow's taking it because the fact that you're gonna, like, even though, and of course I like to take things that happen in the book itself, right? But the fact that that's still base level, right? He's able to already, correct me if I'm wrong, at this point in time in the comic, he's able to tap into all 7 of these cores. We just haven't seen it yet, but he is able
to. He can't.
No, he can't. No. Okay.
Not right
so
now.
So he's just got what? Energy manipulation right now and the physical strength, right?
And the physical strength and agility.
That's still
like spider sense, like,
because like Green Arrow, Hawkeye, sorry, eat your heart out, you're done.
Yeah, at this point, it's not, because it's like, imagine, after everything, I'll admit this right now, I love Green Arrow, but Hawkeye is he's a far superior archer than Green Arrow.
I used to think Green Arrow was, and then me and my wife been arguing since high school. I was the DC guy, she was the Marvel girl, right? And I had no idea how epic Hawkeye was until later on. I was just like, whoa. Whoa.
Right. Oliver Queen is a good archer. He looked like, I don't know if Hawkeye is kind of superhuman, but the dude can shoot with his eyes closed. Like he
literally has a disorder that prevents him from missing.
Yeah. So it's like, so imagine that with like a Spidey sense. Like that alone, like I was good. Like that alone is crazy. Come on, like the agility, the extra awareness to know where you're shooting, almost like, just to know, like, well, I'm about to shoot the corner and it's gonna reflect and hit this dude in his leg before he gets away. Like, so like I wanted to create something like that. Like if Daredevil was an archer, how crazy would that be? Which kind of is like Sharpshooter from Godhood a little bit. Like that, but it meant like sonar, hearing to hear, like that's fire. Like that whole stick, that's fire.
Yeah,
so that's fire, bro. Like I like that. That's dope. But like, so I was like, okay, so what if like Spider-Man, somebody had the abilities like Spider-Man? Like, Spider-Man could almost dodge bullets, almost. Like he can legit see them in motion. So it's like that's the kind of ability and agility Black Bolt has. Like, at times he can almost get to like I said, if he taps into the core for a moment, for maybe a minute or two, 3, maybe he can almost like like how Wonder Woman's speed was when like that's so that's what I was thinking when Wonder Woman was in the movie, how the guys about to shoot the whole hostage thing, and like even when she was training for the first time and the guy shot the gun, and like I feel like that was the first time she actually saw how fast she really was when she saw the bullet coming like that. Like she's not Superman fast.
No, but she's
if you can block bullets, you're there. And so that's kind of like where Black Bolt would that's what I was thinking when he saved the girl from the bullets. Like he can scale, he can right now he can get to that level of speed, basically is what I'm saying.
So I have a question then in regards to the cores. Are they, and I know we made the comparison that's a less strenuous Kaioken, so I guess to dive further into that, is it a strain on him at all? And does it have like a time limit or anything of that nature that
yeah, so
spoilers. He made the face of shoot.
Oh yeah, man. Is it too much of a spoiler? I mean, not because I mean I put this out there, but everybody, the cores are based on they're you have to train at them, but they're based on the level or amount of time that a practitioner of Anu meditates. So if he dude like literally has to meditate for like 10 hours to have enough built up in them, because they come from the power of meditation. So certain type of meditation. So if he doesn't for a while, he'll just basically there. So there's gonna be points where he's just relying on his skill. He doesn't have like if it's been like something hectic going on, dude hasn't been meditating. Now it's just him in his hands. Now here's where the kicker is. When you use Anu, yes, the human body, it does start to pick up those attributes. So you can, in time, the physical durability of his regular self will increase over time too. So,
so two things that I thought of, the vibes that it's giving me. I'm getting Sage Mode Naruto. We're having to meditate in order to tap into the Sage Mode joint.
Okay, yeah,
and then I'm getting Dragon Ball, got to bring it up, Battle of Gods, when he first tapped into Super Saiyan God, and when he lost that transformation and just went normal Super Saiyan, but his body retained it. So that's the vibes we get. So if that's the combo right there, that's going to be, because going back to the Naruto example, he doesn't just naturally have that. Again, like you said, he's got to meditate in that. There's still got to be a level of stillness in that. But to be able to eventually just straight tap into that, the kid is going to be ridiculous. So Black Bolt about to be that's going to be a problem. Now, how long? And this is probably getting into. And I remember I just saw your post about showing him training with Solomon.
Yeah.
I just saw that post. So how long has he been training? Again, this might be spoilery, so cut me off.
Not at all.
How long has he been training in this? And I guess what's kind of the upper limits that we can see Black Bolt doing currently?
So I want to say it's been about 7 years. So he's probably been training 7 years. I wanted to make something realistic, but not too long. Like the dude's So in the time frame, he's been training for about 7 years.
Okay.
And without spoiling or saying what's going to happen in the next couple issues and stuff like that. So he's been training for about 7 years. Like I said, brink of death training and stuff like that. I can say that akin where he was to something like the League of Assassins. That's like in the place that where he was, and undergoing some harsh, crazy stuff. But yeah, man, it's gonna get crazy, and so imagine back to the cores and Anu, and as far as his feats are concerned, how that comparison you just did, talking about like Dragon Ball Z, Kaioken, and I guess it could put certain strings on the body, but the thing with that is that using this, being a practitioner, your body, like I said, your body not only starts to get stronger over time. So think about like My Hero Academia a little bit.
Yes. Was it One for All?
One for All. So kind of think about that a little bit, and how now before he was using his arms or flailing around, he does one thing, pull an arm, dangling, all bones broke. So it's the same thing with Anu, but like not only does using Anu condition your body, it makes it harder, durable, stronger. So it might, it might be one point in time where instead of dudes coming at Black Bolt with a knife, and maybe he for some reason, God forbid, he didn't see it or sense it in time, he might not have to, he might take the hit and might find out that he might not need Anu.
Don't even need to die.
Thing just cracks on his ribs or something. Who knows, man? So like it builds up, the body builds up over time. He gets stronger.
Iron body over here.
Right, the iron body technique, you know.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's the direction that he can get to, and you know.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you what the scenario is.
Okay.
All right. So we, in case anybody that's watching doesn't know or listening doesn't know, we utilize a randomizer wheel. So Black Bolt showed up, and you're going up against Millennial Comics Delta Dogs. If you're familiar with them, so it's a 1v7.
Jesus Christ!
It's a 1v7. So here's the actual scenario. You have, so basically the Delta Dogs were facing off or against random criminals and stuff in their city, right? In the distance, they hear an explosion. It's Black Bolt taking out a mugger in the alleyway, right? So sticking to the canon of your story, we saw him first thing, he's dropping folks, right? But they don't know that they were random muggers, right? So they see you killing people. And with that, you know what I mean? So now they all mobilize because, of course, in their story, they're like, we're not going to fight anybody one-on-one. We're going to squad up on them. So now, staring each other down, you got Delta Dogs staring at Black Bolt. And Black Bolt, you know, obviously he know who he's after, right? But he's still like, watch yourself. And so basically the matchup is there. They're on the offensive because they think you're some super powered crazy dude and you're essentially defending yourself. So I want to know, in this case, in a 7v1, what's Black Bolt's reaction? Of course, it is perfect if you don't know much about the Delta Dogs because Black Bolt ain't gonna know nothing about the Delta Dogs. So I want to know what his initial course of action is, and I'm gonna kind of tell you what each one can do as you're.
Okay, I feel like I do remember seeing some guy with like some type of sound wave, if I'm correct, or something like sound.
So you've got one. So one's got shadow manipulation. The other one is able to shoot out steam. So he's able to use the steam to cause a fog. Like he was able to heat up a gun and burn it out of somebody's hand. Another guy, his name. So you got Alpha Leader. You have Little B, which is one lung, I believe. Trio. So Trio, he is able to clone himself twice. And what happens is, based on how he does it, the force of snapping back adds to his speed, if you would, and the force behind his attack. So he can actually heal himself based on his clones. Think if Twice used his ability to heal himself or to make himself move faster. So Trio's running and clones himself in front of himself and behind himself. And as he gets rid of one clone, he pops out another one in front of him to kind of give himself that extra, leg up in speed or whatever. Then you've got Kilo, who's able to change the density of the things that he touches, and of course himself. So there was a fight scene where somebody was trying to launch a car up into the air, but he weighed down the car, so it barely even put a dent in it. Then you've got Vaughn. He's essentially got wind manipulation almost. So like he was able to punch a steel door down or whatever. Again, he's a novice at it. Curtis, he's able to create this diamond-like material, either as they made masks out of it. He's able to make like a gauntlet or something out of it. I feel like I'm missing one. And then there's Zig. And so he essentially turns into electricity. So yeah, you got.
So there was like a static type of character there.
Yes, it was a static shock type. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you got your work cut out for you. But knowing these abilities, they're and of course you're not. Black Bolt's not necessarily trying to kill them. Well, would he? I don't think he is based on the context of the character, but
right.
But I just read the first issue. You make the story. I don't know.
Yeah. So in that type of situation, like at that point, based on the first issue, at that moment, the world is just now being introduced to enhanced humans.
Yeah.
So he definitely has his depending on where they encounter him at, he definitely might have experience with dealing with some type of metahumans. I'm calling them enhanced humans. I don't know, copy or bite off anything.
Oh
But
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, at that point, depending on if he's probably just encountering for the first time, unless a real threat is present that he sees the need to get into it, then at that point, yeah, he's not like, if it's like a scumbag, like all these people like Batman having Joker hanging around
Oh yeah, ain't no
for,
way.
for 50 years before you do something. Nah, bruh. Like
But
Black Bolt's he does it without prejudice too. He's going to end you. But on that note, first encounter like that, he's probably going to try to evade and escape, and
okay,
and disable him if he can,
okay,
and try to definitely use his awareness, surroundings, and his where I'm talking about like Batman contingency plans. But nah, he's gonna use whatever, he's gonna assess the situation and get out of there as quickly as he can.
okay,
You know, and trying to assess their abilities as it goes down. So
okay.
I could definitely see him using, because before he even uses Anu, he's definitely got the gadgets. So don't forget about his gadgets too. He like his gadgets, I'm talking about the level of like Batman, like
Utility belt swag.
yeah, he's got utility belts, smoke arrows, sonic arrows, all
Okay.
type of trick arrows. You know what I mean? So he would try to definitely discombobulate them, sonic wave arrows, EMP arrows. Like,
Oh, wait a second. Okay, so
yeah,
you might be on point then, because I was gonna say, yeah, I didn't even think about, and this is on me. Apologies, I didn't even think about the arsenal that he's carrying around with him. That
right,
might that
yeah,
actually might help out a lot, because again, those characters, I mean, they're still kids. You know what I mean? Like they're still in high school and younger.
right,
So
right.
there's a lot
And
of
Black
inexperience.
Bolt will be a little bit, if these kids are teenagers. He's a little bit older. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Definitely if he's young still, but old enough to be a professor and an
Right.
adjunct
Right.
professor, he's definitely got a little bit of experience. So the gap might be like 8 years, something like that. They're still relatively in the same bracket, but you
Okay.
know, just a little, so he definitely would like relate to those characters, definitely, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But like, yeah, first meeting, he's definitely going to use the arsenal before he tries to before he even levels up to expend that type of power to try to do something. Like I said, somebody's coming out with some lightning blast, man. He's probably gonna see what, whoever, depending on which one of them make the first move. If
Mm-hmm.
they're charging him, man, and they're coming, he's definitely I think, no way would, like, with the abilities that you described, no way would a Green Arrow be able to, or
No.
it's just even outrun somebody like that.
No.
Like, especially, I'm seeing, so especially these dudes sound like they're ganging up and they're trying to put hands on you, they're throwing down, like, so yeah, I mean, being an expert in combat, I'll probably be like, like, look, he's probably checking these, pop 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 pop, going both of them, but trying to evade at the same time rather than actually, do damage, permanent damage up front. He's assessing the situation, and at first it would try to be to get out of there. So against a
Okay.
super speed guy, he's going to use all the trick
Yeah.
arrows at his disposal.
The crazy thing is, even as fast as Trio is, I don't think he is, because for all his speed, he still got hit by a guy named Lynx, who basically has a ball and chain as a weapon, and he was an
Okay.
enhanced individual as well. But I don't believe that there was anything that showed that he was able to attack faster than the bullet fires, right? And so when you explain the whole thing with in regards to speed, right off rip, now I'm just like, ooh, he scales, in my opinion, he definitely already scales above Trio in regards to speed. But we'll break it down another time. But yeah, so
Right.
see, this is what I'm glad I did this. Just to small sidebar, because of course there's some nuances that we don't that we can only get from the creators, right? Because at
Right.
first, again, I thought, hey, there was bullets that fired off, and he didn't get to those in time, but just so happened this kid, he got in the way. But when you broke down the fact, like, no, bullets were mid-fire, and he got down there and blocked it, that changes everything. That's not just a reactionary feat. That is a legit solidified speed feat. So yeah, that changes the game. And again, his gadgets, his arsenal, EMP, all of that stuff. Oh yeah, it's done. It's done.
Yeah.
All these gadgets that he has to disorient that team, and they're so
because I
worried
figured like
about.
I wanted to like I just in creating the character, I just wanted to make sure that it's somebody that because I created him in a so when I created the character, I'm man, like if somebody's going up against like technically the system, man, he's got to have all type of stuff. He's got to have all types of resources. He's got to have all types of man, like so I took my time in strategizing and basically culminating um all of these small facets that he will have to have in order to be self-sufficient in crime fighting, being a black
Mhm.
guy in this type of time and climate. Because we gotta be realistic here. If there's you would have to be so well covered. You would have to have like, and that's where like he's not. I didn't want to make him like some all like Iron Man where he like obviously
Right.
we're gonna be realistic here. Like there's only so far like a black man, even the richest guy is gonna get. So you just gotta outsource
Mhm.
some things to people that he really trusts, love, and care about him, right? And like his friend just happens aero space engineer. So his friend is actually the one that develops all of his technology.
Mhm.
And because at heart, David's really an archaeologist, so he really, he's intelligent to a certain point in a certain field, but all those other aspects, he has to trust people, right? The
Okay.
people that are closest to him after this. So yeah,
See,
but yeah,
I-
yes, interesting, dude. I like that. I like this matchup because that's definitely crazy. Like I would love to see that actually.
bro, that would be massive. And I think, and we'll get ready to close out here in a second, but because and again, keeping everybody in character, because they're so worried about the younger two. So like Curtis and Vaughn, they're the youngest, and they're actually the two that are brothers. The rest of them, everybody's cousins, but those two are brothers specifically. And everybody's
Okay.
always so worried about Vaughn. Curtis is very distracted with Vaughn being his little brother. And he's kind of like he's the weak link. He's the weak
Hmm.
link. So anybody, so the moment the moment anything doesn't go their way, their focus is lost, I think.
Hmm.
And so when you brought up the gadgets and everything like that, it's like, dang, I don't know how they would deal with that, right? They've had situations where they were all fighting a gang and stuff like that. They broke into this gang hideout and stuff, and a lot of the distraction for those that came in together was the youngest, because it was just like
Hmm.
you don't really know how to use your powers. And then they split up eventually, but there was so much worry, like what's going on with this person, what's going on with that person, that they lost focus on the mission that they came there to do. So I
Hmm.
wonder, again, keeping everything in character, like although it's a 1v7, certain things that the whole game kind of changes up with
Right.
really utilizing his entire arsenal, and again keeping everybody in character. They might
Right.
be in trouble. They might legit be in trouble. So
Yeah, it'll
I
be interesting.
ooh, yeah, that's this
Like Black
hard
Bo
game.
wouldn't do anything to target some little kid, like seeing somebody's weakness and then but like he could assess that situation, but he definitely, like I said, he's a good guy, so it's
Yeah.
only
Oh yeah, I don't expect him to. This ain't
right,
bloodlusted Black Bow versus,
right,
you know what I mean. But
yeah,
just kind of spitballing at the moment. But I almost imagine like, all right, bet the moment I get him, he puts him in a headlock or something like that. Like, hey, back up. You know what I mean? Like, not I
yeah,
did like this. He's not doing like that. But hey, back up. They're like, oh no, don't hurt him. Pushes the kid and just like, hey, get out of here. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
then just
man.
leaves out. Like,
Jumps onto a rooftop and just like out of here, some crazy.
bro,
That's what, yeah.
okay,
I would definitely like to see him continue, trying to use his agility to get out the way, certain attacks and stuff. I like to see that. That sounds dope.
bro.
I like that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So we're gonna we'll close out here, but bro, yeah, I'm gonna do another video soon.
Okay.
Again, reiterating the scenario and then breaking down with both you and Vonnell, the guy that made Delta Dog's name is Vonnell.
Okay.
Breaking down what you guys said about the characters and their abilities. and then really diving into what that scenario would truly look like with each character. So, and then of course we leave it open for everybody to talk and think talk about who they think would win and all that other stuff. But I'm ready. I'm so ready to break down everything.
That's fire.
But we're closing out now. So I want you, of course, to let everybody know where they can find you, website, social media, all that other stuff, and then of course what you got planned here in the near future.
Yeah, man. So yeah, you can find me on all platforms. Well, YouTube, social media, Facebook, and Instagram. Instagram, Dynamic Adventurous Business, DAB. Facebook, the Dabverse. YouTube at Dynamic Adventurous Business. And our website, www.dynamicadventurousbusiness.com. And you grab issue 1, check out our merch. Everything we're doing, the short films coming up. Check out our podcast too. We do that. We try to drop content every Tuesday, 6 a.m. You know what I mean? Check us out on your early morning commute. We talk about comics, storytelling, and how that plays a part in our world and how it's not really looked at as a major thing, but storytelling inspires the future. So if it's not, so it's like, it's probably one of the most important elements of human nature. So, so yeah, man, tap in and just, see what we talk about, man. And we, from everything from comics to future tech to AI to all type of stuff that's going on out here, man. So definitely tap in, man. The Dabcast, get that on all platforms, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, everywhere. You know what
I mean? Hey, everywhere. Okay. No, but man, thank you, because thank you. I think I've said this before, but I really enjoy power scaling. I love what ifs. I love versus matches and stuff like that. And I realized not a lot of people know how to do it without biased opinion. You know what I mean? Like it'd be like, oh, Batman beats Superman. Stat blow for blow, no. But because there's Bruce and there's Clark, that's why. So nobody. A lot of people don't know how to do verses right. So I really wanted to add that to the indie community because nobody's really doing indie characters versus indie characters really. So I wanted to add this new type of thing here for that. But I won't ramble too much about that. I have a whole nother video for that, right? But of course, I'm Lloyd Jones with Midnight Comics. Or you can find us at midnightcomics.org. Find us at Midnight X Comics on Instagram. That's really where we're really heavy at. But you can also find us on TikTok as the same there. And YouTube at Midnight Comics. So definitely check us out on all. And we hope you enjoyed this character breakdown for Indie Versus. And the next one will be the official scenario where we give you guys our verdict on who we think would win, and then leave it open for you guys to let us know who you think would win this Indie Versus. Anyway, without further ado, thank you guys for tuning in. And remember, until next time, midnight is coming. We'll catch you later.